as you can see from the loading screen, we are now in update 4.7. So this video is just going to go over the update. It's going to go over um, what they changed, any issues with that, kind of my opinion a little bit. But I'm going to start for anyone who just like watches for a minute and then leaves. I'm going to start by just going over the very basics of what the update did. So to start off, there is an expedition update, or at least that's how they titled it. Basically, they added um, items that you could buy where you either can resurrect your adventurer, start a new expedition, teleport your expedition once the expedition is complete, or just re-roll it to get other expeditions. From there, they did an aesthetic update. So they stated that they changed the in-game bundles. This icon here, when you go to tap, is changed. I'm not sure about the inner. I didn't take a note of how it looked before, but this definitely does look different, maybe slightly bigger. The boxes in that icon. Um, they made it so the attacks land or the attack landing animation is different, or not different, but it's quicker. So whether you're defending or attacking, instead of it taking like 2 seconds once the attack lands to actually like finish the attack, then you can see it's very quick this time. Um, so that'll save you time if you're really just trying to run through someone, or quickly swap between cities to wall someone as well. Um, they also did some background updates on the developer side. They optimized the battle reports on their side. They also optimized the inventory management database, and then they state many background features. So that is just running through basically the update notes. Um, but now I'm just going to go into what I personally noticed. Of course, the speed boosts you can see here, they were blue with silver outlining. Now they're green with gold outlining. I kind of like this update. It just seems to match better. Maybe it's because my current background is tan as well because I'm in the sand, so that aesthetically it's more pleasing, but I like this gold and green update instead. Um, for the daylight bundle, which I did mention earlier, how it uh, how they added this to give you actual items that you can buy for the rerolls instead of just using sapphires. I'm a bit torn on the value of this. It's definitely catered to more pay-to-win players that run troop expeditions multiple times a day. But if you are in my scenario where you run a single expedition like in the morning and you may re-roll to get to that expedition, whichever one you choose. I personally run gear expedition. This is because, as you can see, I'm missing multiple items or just have low tier items in the new um, items that came out a couple months ago. So that's what I've been running. Also need Stardust always to upgrade gear and Templars. So I always run gear expedition. I let this one die on purpose today because I wanted to see if there's anything different about resurrecting it. I'm not going to use the 500 gems to resurrect, but I'm just going to do a normal resurrect in base and see if there's anything different. But so I wanted to go over why I question its value. So the resurrection, which I assume is the 2 here at the top, you don't really need resurrection unless your adventurer goes all the way to the point where it runs out of life and dies. But it already stops around 20 to 30 life automatically from the game's function. And then you can manually decide to continue it. And the only way it will die is if you forget about it. but once you continue, it only has about 10 to maybe 20 minutes max before it runs out of life. So you'd have to forget about it in the next 10 to 20 minutes, which is kind of unlikely. It doesn't happen to me often at all. So that's almost valued at 0 sapphires in my opinion. Then the speed boost, I only run one a day. Even the people that run multiples a day, I'm not really sure if they boost them back so they can get another one going out as fast as possible. It's 50 sapphires for this boost back, and I personally would just rather wait the 1 to 2 hours. So, which I always do. It seems like a waste to me to spend the 50 sapphires. So that personally isn't valuable to me at all. Then I have the rerolls. Now, the 5 rerolls here, which I assume is this bottom right side one, the 5 rerolls, realistically, you're not rerolling more than twice to get what you want in an expedition. So it shows off with 2 choices for your expedition, and then every time you roll, it gives you another 2. Now you may get duplicates of those, but generally it's very rare to have to like if I'm going for a gear expedition, it's very rare for me to reroll once and not get it, and then twice and not get it as well. And the first reroll is 100, the second reroll is 200. If assuming maximum value, the 5 rerolls would be 2 rerolls of 2 and then a 1. So that's 300 for each of the 2. 600 plus that last reroll, which is 700. So it's valued at 700 maximum, that one. And then the other one is the new start. I reached out and I'm not 100% sure what the new start is. I kind of feel like, and let me resurrect this back in base right now. I kind of feel like the new start is just what would just be sending out another expedition after. Now, I haven't bought it, so, and I don't really feel like spending the 1750 to test this, but I I'm feeling it's just like you get your expedition back and it shows another 2 that you can send out for 800. And I feel like that's what the new start is. If it is simply you didn't like how your expedition worked out and so it gives you an option to start it from new, that's even less valuable. That's, in my opinion, is a bad idea. But I'm thinking the new start is just that, like the 800 gems here. So there's 2 of those worth 1600. But I've never spent the 800 to try to get through it. Um, and run another expedition because, in my opinion, it's not worth it. I could get the same value of items here by just buying like a single 150 chest, maybe 2 at max. So that 800 isn't worth it to me. Um, and so I've never done that. So that's why, in my opinion, the 2 new starts, the 2 resurrections, and the 5 teleports are pretty much useless. And so the value of this pack is what the 5 rerolls would be, which is, to me personally, which is only 700. So the 1750 for me personally is grossly overpriced. But I'm simply saying this from my standpoint of how I play the game. If you are running more than 2, I would even maybe say more than 1 expedition a day, it is 100% worth it. I personally would love for them to release a 10 reroll um, expedition or daylight bundle, whatever, for 1,000 sapphires, and that would be a great value, which I would definitely buy. But this current pack, as I went over what's the cost and what they go over, not really sure that it is worth it. So let me see. I wrote a bit of a list here, just going over, make sure I don't get too off track. Attack animation, turn. Okay. So then, um, I will say the clan chat is still not fixed. It's still sometimes it's like a parallel world almost because you'll say something in chat, you'll load out of the game, then you'll reload it, and your message will be gone. But then if you type a new message, then you might start, it's like you're running two chats almost. So when you reload later, you may get that earlier message, and then the last one doesn't show up, or you may get the last message that you sent, but the earlier one doesn't show up. So it's like almost two chats combined, and you're contributing to one or the other. So you can't really see what your clanmates are saying. So that showed up in the last update. Still haven't fixed it, which is a bit frustrating if you're in a higher league and running a Discord, or your clan is running a Discord that you can chat in, then it's not too much of an issue. But in lower leagues, where I don't see the Discord as often, it's definitely an issue, big issue, in fact. Um, the other thing is a visual glitch. I can't demonstrate it because I haven't personally experienced it, but I've had a few clanmates have a visual glitch where they'll send their troops at a city, and then in the battle reports, instead of showing like the 269 striker, 75% brave, and 0% and 113 scavenger, then it'll show 0% on all those stats. This is only for so far for the attacking side. It isn't for the defense. Um, but it's just a visual glitch, apparently, because the experience and the gold that they earn outside of the battle report still reflects their striker, and their gear, overall what they had. I was initially thinking it was like before I knew it was a visual glitch. Initially, I was thinking weapon master issue, but they actually had points into striker, and it was still showing 0% striker. So that wouldn't, if it was a weapon master issue, then like just visually a weapon master issue, then that would counteract that. It would still show the skill points you have in striker. So that's odd, but it doesn't actually affect gameplay, so it's not too bad. Um, then I will say I mentioned earlier the watcher issue where it goes to like, um, 1 day, 0 hours, or 1 hour within like an hour or two of your bubble activation, instead of counting down like it says here, like 6 hours, 15 minutes. So they did change that, at least on my end. So now I can see it all the way up to the end. It'll say like 1 minute, 15 seconds left. So happy about that. And that is all the issues I have seen. I want to see actually, because I did mention earlier, if there's double experience opponents with the new update. All right. So the yeah, so now it says 100%. So even though they're 50% or they're 150%, for me, then they're still getting 100%. And then let me see if there's a two. Yeah, this should be a 200%. So then, this is a, so that isn't accurate. That isn't accurate. But the 150 was accurate. So like, even though they're 150%, they still get 100% on defense, and I get 150% on attack. And then if it's, of course, 100%, which this should be, then they're getting 100%, I'm getting 100%. But if they're 200%, they're still getting 100% on defense, but I'm getting 200% experience. So that's inaccurate. It's interesting that the 150 is accurate, 150% is accurate, but the 200% opponents aren't. But either way, that's another thing that's still in the background here that's inaccurate. But that pretty much covers everything that I noticed, everything that was stated um, in the update notes. So I hope you found this useful. Hope you enjoyed the video. feel free to leave a like uh, and subscribe, but also what I'd really appreciate is comments. If you have anything that you noticed stated incorrectly, any future questions on other topics or anything at all, feel free to put in the comments and I would love to help you out or you help me if you're correcting me. So that'd be great. See you in the next one.